What's going on YouTube? Archie Lowe back again with another video, trying to keep my promise of constant content here on my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be about, should you drive for Uber and Lyft full time? Personally, I drive for Uber and Lyft full time. A lot of my friends and family members have asked me if they should do it, and they've asked me for my referral code and everything. So I'm here to answer a couple of frequent questions that I get on a daily basis. One of my friends asked me, what's an average day like driving for Uber and Lyft, especially in the area that I live in, is the tri-state area of Maryland, DC, and Virginia. So you get a lot of traffic, but I mean, I personally don't mind it. But I wouldn't do it if, you're a little scarce on, like, you don't want to put a lot of miles on your car, or you drive one of those cars that takes like $40 or $50 to fill up all the time. Because driving with Uber, in my experience, you're going to spend a lot of that money putting gas into the car, oil changes, tire rotations. But an average day for me, I mean, I'll try to go for 10 to 15 rides. But I mean, it's really fun. I mean, I don't really mind driving around for like 3 to 4 hours a day. I had a question of, what was my first day like? Was it nerve-wracking? Were you nervous or anxious about it? And honestly, I mean, me personally, I wasn't. I'm sure there are some drivers out there that was like, oh God, I'm about to let a whole stranger in my back seat. I don't know anything about this person. But me personally, I mean, I was cool. I picked up my first ride in National Harbor, and I took him like 15 minutes down the street to Alexandria, Virginia. And he was a pretty nice guy, old white guy. I mean, I dropped him off at the train station, and he knew that it was my first ride because Uber gives you kind of like a background about your driver and how many rides they've been on and everything. So he was like, oh, this is your first one. And I was like, yeah. And he was, oh, I mean, that's cool. You're doing a pretty good job. So I had a little bit of reassurance. So driving with Uber for the first time, I wasn't anxious at all. Driving with Lyft for the first time is really difficult because I didn't understand the format of the app, and I had to do the Lyft line, which is kind of like Uber Pool when you pick up multiple people at the same time. And I had no idea what was going on, and that was a really big headache. The big question I'm sure everybody is wondering is, not even just for me personally, but how much money can you make driving for Uber and Lyft per day? I set a personal goal for myself when I'm really just like, all right, I gotta pay bills, rent's due, I gotta get groceries. I really set like, at least $100 to $150 a day. If I make more than that, that's cool. If I make, roughly, or relatively close to that amount of money, I'm cool. A lot of people's, expectations are higher than mine. A lot of other people are lower than mine because they're just doing this to bring in an extra 20 bucks. But I try to make $100 or $150 a day if I'm able. Usually if I'm just, playing around and I don't have anything to do for, 2 hours, I'm make like, 50, 60 bucks. The rideshare company that I prefer driving for would have to be Uber. Just in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot more traffic in Uber. There's a lot more people using Uber. Uber is a lot simpler to use than Lyft. Lyft is extremely complicated and just it gives me a headache. Uber is just quick, easy, go online, go make your money. Lyft has a completely different format that I'm still not used to using to this day. So I don't use Lyft often. I'm mostly, an Uber driver. The Lyft sticker on my car is just an accessory at this point. But yeah, I prefer Uber over Lyft. What made me want to start driving for Uber and Lyft, especially full time, wasn't even my choice. As I said in the previous video before this one, I was fired unexpectedly. I had, no way of being able to pay my bills by applying for a whole new job within a week. And I never planned on doing it full time, but I've been doing it full time for about 2, maybe 3 months now. in the meantime, I have been still looking for other jobs, but I mean, Uber's just paying the bills right now, and I've just been sticking with that. But yeah, I never planned on doing it full time. Me personally, I wouldn't recommend doing it full time. I mean, it could be a real hassle. A lot of the money that, you know, I earn in Uber is spent, you know, within a day, or, you know, spent on gas money or whatever. And but yeah, I never really planned on doing it full time. If I had a choice, I'd do it part time, but right now it pays the bills. My weirdest passenger was this little white girl in DC. It was around Halloween, and she didn't have a costume on. I think she was like drunk or tipsy or whatever. But you know, little privileged white girl, and she had asked me, you know, since you and I are alone right now, and I've never asked anybody this before, what's it like being a black guy? And I had no idea what to say. I would say, dude, like, I was like, okay. I mean, around the holidays, well, around Halloween, I picked up the Chick-fil-A cow. He had like the necklace that said, like, eat more chicken, spelled incorrectly and everything. I picked up a taco, picked up Popeye and olive oil. I picked up, who did I pick up? I picked up Wolverine. Like, it was crazy. Halloween was crazy. Halloween was a weird time to be an Uber driver. So a lot of my friends and family always ask me when I'm telling them about, you know, my Uber stories and everything, and they want to get involved part-time, or, you know, just make a little extra cash every now and then. And they always ask if I have advice for first-time Uber drivers. And I've had multiple customers, or, you know, passengers, I guess, get into the car with me, and they're like, oh, you got a 5-star rating on Uber, that's really cool, how'd you get that? And I'm like, dude, all I do is just pull up, shut up, play some music, and I take you where you need to go. It's not a walk in the park. Every dollar that you're trying to make, you gotta earn it. You know, it's fun, but it's not easy. You know, if you want to go out and make, you know, $400 quick, trust me, it's not gonna be quick. You're gonna spend at least 5 or 6 hours outside, and half of that time you're gonna be driving around, wasting gas and using up miles, and you haven't even gotten a ride yet. The thing with Uber and Lyft is, you know, you can't be sitting at home and get a ping from someone in Virginia. You physically gotta be in Virginia. You know, if you're not in Virginia, you just missed that ride. If you're not in DC, you just missed that ride. You know. And Uber does help out a lot with, like, I call it the red zones, where it tells you, you know, like what area that you're in is busy right now, and how much the wage went up and everything. But, you know, you gotta go out and you gotta earn that money. They're giving it out for free, but they're just not gonna hand it to you. You gotta go get it. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for today. Hopefully, I answered, you know, a good amount of you guys' questions. I'm pretty sure there are more questions just like those. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments section below. I'll be sure to read them and try to include them in the next video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, still give it a thumbs down. Any kind of feedback is well appreciated here on the channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, click this button right here to subscribe, and make sure to turn on my post notifications so you can see more content, more videos just like this up here. That's my previous video. Check it out. Hope you guys enjoy. And I mean, that's all I got. So I'll see you guys soon. Peace.